Okay, so I'm going to show you the first steps on getting your photo that you have onto your canvas that has your acrylic pour on it, okay? So I'm actually going to put this to the side for a minute. For the first steps, you really just need your picture, and this is like your realistic picture. It doesn't have the crazy shading or anything like that. It's just the normal black and white photo. And you're going to need some sort of chalk. This is actually conte, which is a little bit more condensed compared to chalk, but that's what I'm going to use. And you're going to need some scotch tape and a pen. Alright, so I've already done this once, so it's going to look a little bit different, but when you flip your picture over, typically it's completely white. So that's where you're going to take your conte or your chalk, and you're going to just shade it kind of evenly with the chalk. Use a color that's going to be contrasting to your acrylic pour. So I'm using black. I feel like it'll stand out pretty well on my acrylic pour, and I'm just going everywhere where my picture is. Now when you're done, you're going to have some of this like dusty stuff. Just kind of tap that off onto your table surface. Get the extra chalk dust off. Alright, so now I'm going to bring back my canvas and I'm going to tape it. Now I already have tape on here on the sides, so I'm just going to take and I'm going to wrap that picture right onto my canvas. Okay. Now, one thing about if we're going to start tracing, we need to make sure that we have a surface that we can really press hard on. Now, a canvas is really a piece of cloth, and if we press hard on it, it's going to cave in and misshape our canvas. So let's try to not do that. So if we have some sort of surface, like here I have a novel, and it actually fits right in there, and so now I can press down hard onto my canvas without damaging my canvas. Alright, so my picture looks a little bit different. I've already done this a couple of times, but in a typical picture you wouldn't have this already outlined. But that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start outlining my picture. So I'm going to press and I want to press pretty hard, but I don't want to, damage anything. So you want to press hard enough that that conte that's on the back of your picture transfers. Alright, so I'm going to do the whole thing. So this is kind of a shadow area where it's all kind of blending in, but I still want to be able to see the separation of his lips because I'm going to make sure that I paint that. So I'm going to put that in as well. So some of the areas like his hair, I'm a little bit looser whenever I trace just because it can be improvised a bit. Hair is never the same. So I'm not as picky about how I'm tracing it in those areas. Alright, so I'm going to do a little bit down here, putting in his neck and shirt area. It's always creepy whenever you have just a head floating, so make sure that you do have a neck and shoulder area. Then I'm gonna kind of outline where those the ripples of the fabric are. Alright, so I feel like I have the majority of this traced. I don't have any of the shadows here. Maybe put in some shadow areas just so I know where they are. Alright, so let's see if it transferred over. So I'm gonna untape it. Alright. So that looks pretty awesome. I know it's probably hard for you to see on the camera, but it is there. I'm gonna just lightly, like there's some dust, so I'm just lightly like taking a paper towel and getting rid of the dust, and then all my other things I can still see pretty well. Like I can see the nose and I can see the eyes and stuff like that. So I know where I need to start painting. So that will be my next step.